with Wilshire Phoenix. Bill, how we doing?
Hey guys, how are you?
Hey, we're doing great. Are you a fan of Messi?
I am a fan of Messi. Not sure. So what are you guys talking about? There's a Messi coin or what's going on there? The NFT. Not sure that I would buy the NFT or the shares of the NFT, but big fan. But thanks for having me. It's good catching up with you guys again.
This whole situation is messy, so let's just move on. Let's talk about a Bitcoin ETF, right? You're trying for it, right? You've got a commodity trust, right?
Well, yeah. So it's not we don't believe a Bitcoin ETF is going to be approved probably till 2023.
Okay.
So our vehicle is structured in a way that it is freely, it will be freely tradable by retail investors and institutional investors alike. But it's not an ETF. It will look and feel like one, but it's a fully, we have underwriters involved. There's liquidity providers and what have you. And it's sort of a way for people to have some additional access besides, the existing products that exist in the space. And it's also one that will be, the first one that will be approved on a, in the form S1 on the 33 Act. So right. It's a big deal for the space and, just a big deal for investors. And I think it'll bring a lot of, maybe some investors off the sidelines that, need a fully, for their own purposes or what have you, a fully regulated vehicle.
So it's similar. It's basically similar to like the USO is like an oil trust, right? The USO is backed. It's a commodity backed instrument, right? And this is the same thing, but just for Bitcoin.
No, well, not really. I would analogize it more to GBTC.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll have it launched, and then we'll get it listed on the OTCQX best marketplace, we'll essentially be going head to head with them. There's a lot of differences in our product, and we spent a lot of time developing it to make a product that because we just think investors deserve more from issuers and sponsors. I think the space has obviously the digital asset space generally has exponentially evolved and continues to gain traction, but the products in the space have just stalled out. Right? They're just nobody's getting not say creative or what have you, but there was a Bitcoin futures mutual fund that was approved by the commission, I think a few days ago. But that, I think it's a step in the right direction. I think mutual funds are kind of, on the way out, and it kind of doesn't make sense to have futures in a mutual fund, just because you're locked up, for a certain period of time, and holding futures for, longer than a certain period of time, obviously comes with the theta, contango, right. And obviously, if you're not able to redeem, and the other, the grayscale product obviously is, suffers in that area as well on redemption, where, kind of Wilshire's product has all the, the hallmarks of a rational and traditional, financial product.
Could you walk us through what happened since we talked last time? Any updates and any developments with Wilshire Phoenix? Did you launch a new product? Do you have more clients that you could not talk about? I remember.
No, so we're continuing to build products. So yesterday we filed a significant amendment on the Bitcoin Commodity Trust, and that was after working diligently with the SEC for quite a while. There's a lot of comments to address, and we also updated it in a lot of ways. So we're really looking forward to getting that one out to the market.
Okay, so I am interested in your comments on previous predictions, right? So if I remember correctly, we talked about the fact that no one is sure, no one is correct what we're going to see in terms of price by the end of the year. But we did talk with you, I think, before the May craze and the June craze and then the downtrend movement. Where do you stand on those predictions right now?
I don't know if they were really, maybe they were pretty, I don't know if I gave any, I don't think I gave any. I think the only thing I said is that I think that, I think I made an off the cusp comment that I think that it will probably, who knows, I think I was saying the tight trading range between 30 and 40,000. And I think that's where we are now. So, I don't typically say price targets or anything, but in this case, it kind of worked out. I think, I think, I think the other thing we talked, I think we talked about the outrageous price targets by Cuban and a lot of others. Maybe Draper. I forget one of the other people, but saying Bitcoin was going to be at 300,000 before the end of the year.
Yeah,
and then not giving any fundamental reason for that is not only a mistake, it's irresponsible, stupid, dumb, and it's and these people are not sort of low profile people. This is stuff gets tweeted out. People are buying based on what they're saying. It's just if you want to contribute to the community, do something in a way that's productive. Otherwise, just shut up. I think it's just you're hurting and you're harming investors probably because if you make those comments when it was up at 60,000 and even one person bought right there, you harmed somebody, and that's that's just ridiculous.
Right. But Bill, I have a question for you. If we can go back to the ETF point, can you clarify why you think it'll be so long and what the specific challenges are as it relates to a hypothetical Bitcoin? There's I've lost count of the filings now. I think we're up to 20, but I'm rounding approximately. I don't know. It could be more, it could be less, but somewhere in the ballpark of 20. I think filings for a Bitcoin ETF. Why you seem a little bearish on it? What are the challenges that make this such a
It's not just challenges. It's right. So given Commissioner Gensler's comments.
Right. Can you clarify what those were? Because I'll be honest, I saw them, but I didn't they didn't sink in my brain. So
I think he's more or less said that he said the market is interesting, but it needs to be regulated. He's not talking about ETFs. He's talking about the spot markets, and he said that mutual funds with futures are fine and things like that. But, he basically came out and said, without saying it, these exchanges need to be regulated under our purview. That's something that, it's not going to happen. I think the SEC probably needs to create a whole new division to do this. And it's going to take, it's definitely not happening. I think we talked, 2021. That's, I think, kind of runs the imagination. I don't think it's mathematical. It's not possible. But I think 2022 is probably not possible. Maybe something in 2023.
I think. Sorry, go on.
Oh no, go ahead.
I have a question based on the recent news that we covered today. Ray Dalio has an opinion about Bitcoin versus gold. So he previously said that he would choose Bitcoin over bonds, right? But just last night he said that if he could only have one, and if he had a gun to his head, he would choose gold because in his in his view, it is still a lot more stable than Bitcoin, and that you can replace gold with Bitcoin, right? So what's your opinion on that? Would you choose Bitcoin over gold and over bonds?
I don't think it's, are we talking guns to our heads, or, I think there's no, choosing. I think both of them can coexist in a portfolio. I think the narrative around Bitcoin being an inflation hedge is probably a mistake. It's extremely volatile asset. It hasn't. I mean, I think as inflation has, or the inflation prints have come out, Bitcoin has gone just straight down, right? So and Bitcoin has never existed in an inflationary environment, although it has the some of the shared properties of gold. But gold is proven to not only serve as a hedge, but sort of provide gains in an inflationary. During inflationary periods. So, I'm not sure that I would, I think to answer your question, I think they both can exist. I think if it were me, I'd have, a larger allocation to gold as to Bitcoin. And I think that just makes more sense because of the volatile nature of it and just the way that a rational portfolio could be sort of hedged. And I think that more retail investors need to kind of think that way on drawdowns and what have you. And, markets don't always go straight up. So, and they saw that with the last drawdown on Bitcoin. And if you weren't hedged, you just got destroyed. But, Bitcoin futures are available to hedge. There's other ways to short the product and also remain long at the same time. There's even a lot of correlations that exist in the public markets or the regulated markets where you can, you could have did a pairs trade and went long Bitcoin and shorted, MicroStrategy or something like that, or something like that. But there's a lot of, and these aren't like, even institutional type trades. I mean, these are not that hard trades to put on. And I think, the correlations that exist between Bitcoin and a lot of the other sort of altcoins that exist are quite high. So even if you own, something like, I think when I was in the green room, I heard you guys talking about, some Reddit coin, and I've never heard of it, but I think that's doomed for, probable failure. And
that's how you really feel.
I think that's one of the problems with, the space generally is a lot of things being, people shooting themselves in the foot with creating something like a subreddit coin. All it does is distract the SEC.
Yeah.
Right. And so something like 4,000 coins that exist or something.
Yeah.
Hey, come on.
Bill, I've got news. I've also, just like Bitcoin, I too have never existed in an inflationary environment. So this is going to be fun.
Neither have I. So
none of us have, I think. So it's going to be should be a fun experience. Bill Herrmann is the co-founder and managing partner of Wilshire Phoenix. Bill, always a pleasure. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.
All right.